Alright, found an Allen wrench that will fit it. So, just going to loosen it. And really, I didn't loosen it at all. So, that means this thing is worn. It came off that easily. Now I realize when you pull this off, you might have to let down the jack a little bit to get everything from binding off. But you really shouldn't. It should just come off easily. The bolt in the back side might be holding some things together, but as we see, it's not. It's just on the shaft itself. And you can see, pretty easy job to do when you have everything moved out of the way. Now, let's see the top side. That looks like maybe a 16 millimeter. Yeah, socket. Yeah, well, no, 16 millimeter. Be careful your radiator when you're doing this. You get some force applied to this. As always, disconnect your battery when working on your motor, especially when you're doing the motor mounts. Believe it or not, this job, other auto shops might charge a lot. So you gotta jack up a little bit more. See how you gotta jack up a little bit? You only jack up a little bit, just enough to get everything out. You don't want to tear anything else up. Now, I'm kind of afraid of jack it up more. Yeah, we're able to get it out. You see how they're, it looks like it's in decent shape. Maybe just the bushing was bad, but it is starting to tear in areas. It's starting to tear. Not bad tears, but I don't know. See, this one doesn't have any tears whatsoever. And the circles are circles instead of ovals. So compare the height. Yeah, I would say it's worn out. That's probably a good 1/4 inch difference between the both of them. So this is shot. Like always, make sure the parts are the same. Compare them before you stick them on. And obviously this one is. So yeah. Beat this rain again. It was raining on me. Honestly, 16. So they put a different size socket on. You gotta take it off. Just lay on there like slightly hand tight, just enough to be annoying. I am going to put on the original bolt back on, just because it's a little bit longer. Oh, maybe not, because it isn't the same pitch. I'll be using a new one. Yeah. Have to use the new one. I'm going to get a socket for this one. looks like it's 14 millimeter. Let me go back to the box. Bolts are 14. What I'll do is also to check, see if the head size is the same as in the washer. And it is, because you want to make sure that it will drop in there perfectly fine and not fall through all the way on you, because that would be a pain in the ass. Everything goes back in reverse order. And pretty simple process. Make sure the dust boot, which is this piece, goes over top of that flange. And these little forks go on the back side. Now look at this. See this little hole? Little forks is a little notch right here. Those forks got to go in there. It keeps the whole motor mount from spinning. So everything's lined up. I can't get anything in there without the weight on the vehicle. So all I gotta do is let down slowly. Hold it. Now it looks like the flange. Just gotta feel all the way around, make sure it's everything's seated correctly. And it didn't get pinched. So it didn't get pinched, put your bolt tack in. You have to lift up a little bit, kind of fiddle with it. Yeah, see, you have to mess with it a little bit to get it in there. Of course, everything will fall when you're trying to record. Run in by hand first, make sure it's not cross-threaded. But you got it in there good enough and tight. You see, it's wanting to turn, but it can't turn because that little fork and that notch is keeping it from turning while I'm tightening down. You want it on there tight. So it's on there nice and tight. Now, let all the way the motor on the motor mount down. Go back on. And we put the other one back on. I guarantee if you brought this to a mechanic to get replaced, they would say it takes 3-4 hours. It doesn't take 3-4 hours. It takes only a few minutes. Heck, you could probably do it with all the fans in the way if you have a long enough extension. Alright, voila, motor mount done. And that was under 15 minutes. So, as you see, didn't take that much effort to change the motor mount on this car. If you do want to move everything out of the way, you can. I just have everything moved out of the way because I'm replacing the AC condenser. So, it just makes everything a lot easier and a lot quicker. But I imagine this is only a 15-minute, maybe a 20-minute, maybe I'm sorry, 30 minutes max if everything's in the way. But really, all you need is one long extension, and you can do this from the bottom side. You might have to take off the oil pan cover, or you might have to take off this dust cover, the beauty shroud or whatever it's called. You have to take that off. So I might factor in a little bit extra time frame for you. So it might take you an extra 10 minutes to do that. So maybe it's a half hour, maybe it's a 45-minute job, but really it's not much time. So hopefully this helps you guys out on your changing your front motor mount on your VW Jetta. This would work from 1993 to 1999, well, June of 1999. Any questions, comments, give me a ring. Part number for this particular job is 104-1275. That's 104-1275. And this is from Rock Auto. Probably other places a little bit less expensive, but this is decently priced when I needed other parts at the same time. So hopefully this helps you out. Later.